Welcome to Tunnel Talk, a no facts, all feelings wrestling podcast on the Social Suplex Network. I'm Allie.
I'm Ann.
And I'm Leah.
How are my beautiful girls doing this week?
Good. Do you guys think our current media environment is like really messed up?
Yeah, tell me more.
Did you know that on Netflix there is a new Mindy Kaling show that stars Kate Hudson and Justin Theroux?
No. Nope, haven't heard a thing about that.
Hadn't heard a thing about it either. I just turned on Netflix and I was like, huh. And it's not half bad. I enjoyed it.
Well, you know what? If Netflix hadn't done their whole password crackdown, maybe the teens on TikTok would have been educating me about what's out there.
Yeah, maybe the TikTok teens would have been doing their very important work.
So you're watching a lot of videos of teens, huh?
Okay, I don't seek the teens out.
Canceled.
It's the algorithm, and the algorithm brings me to the children.
So you have an algorithm that brings you teens. I see.
You know what? I'm concerned because I've been on Netflix actually recently. Not to brag, but for a while I'm on my parents. Obviously, I'm on my parents' account. For a while, it was like you can't be here unless you pay, and they didn't seem to have paid. So I was like, well, Netflix is gone. I let it go easily. I released that from my mind, but then I thought, you know, it's October. The other day was like, it is Gilmore Girls season. Like, what am I going to do? Obviously, I could acquire Gilmore Girls for myself. Don't worry about that. But there are a couple stages to getting it.
Go to the library and check
I'd go to the library and check it out, and then I'd burn it, and that's how I'd pirate it. I'd burn it. No, I was like, it's a couple of stages to get it on the TV. From the moment where you think, I wish I had that, to then you go to the library and to get it on the TV.
There's a few steps you have to.
Yeah, you gotta leave your house.
Steps in there. So I was like, well, I guess, you know, Netflix is right there. Like, let's just see. Like, what if they did let me in? And they did. So I was like, I don't know if my parents paid money, which is the kind of thing like they would do without ever telling me, you know.
I think Netflix had to like back down a little on how strict they were being, because people were like, my wife is on a month-long business trip and she needs to be able to access Netflix, you know, stuff like that.
My adult daughter lives in another state and she needs us to provide this service for her.
She's part of our household.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm 35.
Cradle to grave, baby. No.
Me and my friend used to share a Hulu Live account, and the rules of Hulu Live is that you all had to be in the same zip code, which obviously me and my friend lived a block apart, so it worked. And then all of a sudden they changed it to be you have to be on the same Wi-Fi, and I called Hulu and was like, yeah, like I have my main Wi-Fi, but then we have a family room in the basement that's on an extender.
Yeah,
like,
nice. What are you doing? And like they were, they absolutely had no. They were like, yeah, tough titties. Like, they were like,
what are you doing?
They shot you down.
Yeah. They didn't believe my extender theory.
I thought you were going to get through it because I figured if you bothered to call them, they would be like, wow, you've tried hard enough that you deserve it.
I love that we said back at it again at the Krispy Kreme this week. We said, you thought we said enough about streaming services last week? No, we got a little more to say.
Hey, I started this by trying to inform you about Kate Hudson's new sitcom.
I feel informed.
So did you watch it?
Okay.
Yeah. I liked it.
Well, maybe I'll go to my local library.
There you go. Check it out.
I just wanted to say I'm on Netflix, but it hasn't recommended it to me. And in fact, it keeps trying to get me to watch some like weird little animated TV show. And I'm like, I don't watch those on. I don't understand why you want me to do this. I'm a
maybe
grown
you had to
woman.
turn it on in the right 2-week window, you know? I don't know.
Maybe.
But that seems ridiculous to me. Like the amount of things that just like go to a streaming service to die. It's like Harrison Ford and Jason Segel had like that show on Apple.
I watched 1.5 of that.
I watched an episode and I thought it was mid and I stopped.
It was mid.
Was
he really mid, right?
Someone was a therapist, Harrison himself?
And they all were therapists. Yeah.
Oh, they all were therapists.
It was a workplace comedy about a therapy like business. So, but like the whole time I was like, Harrison Ford, are you being blackmailed? Why are you in this?
Right. Like, did you make some really devastating real estate decisions? Like, what happened in
Did you
your
get
life?
CM punked?
Maybe he just likes hanging. Like, it's like he's like someone I want to hang out with is on that. Like, that's his vibe, kind of. Is that he's just like, I don't know. I'll just show up and I don't really have to do that much. No one's going to ask very much of me. Say my lines. They're not going to tell me how to say them. Like, I'll just do whatever I want.
And he's like, it's going straight to Apple TV. Plus, no one will ever hear about it.
No one will ever see it or know about it. Now, what was I about to ask you guys? It's gone forever. We'll never know. Streaming. My God. You can't live with it. You cannot live with it.
You can't love it. No.
Can't love it. Can't live it. Can't love it.
Well, and if you wanna watch a little family sitcom about a rich family that owns a basketball team, that's not nearly as repulsive as that sounds, and also not nearly as cutting as your Successions, but in that genre.
It doesn't, I have to say, it doesn't sound great to me in this moment. It doesn't sound like I'm gravitating towards it, but you never know. Yeah. You never know.
You did. Saying basketball team didn't get you immediately on board?
Anne got to see, like, the second she said basketball. I had been kind of interested, and the second she said basketball team, my face just went, ugh. What? No. They're playing
it's not
a sport?
that much about basketball. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's not that much about basketball.
Well, if we're doing TV recommendations, I would suggest if you want to watch a really bad version of The Pit and like that actively makes you angry a lot. Yet I'm in season 3. I recommend The Resident. It's very bad. Awful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We all watched Stephen King's Castle Rock as well. That one.
That's
that
true.
was good.
Actually, we really enjoyed season 1 of Castle Rock. I did spend a lot of it just being like, I kept saying, now where are we in time? But there's no way around that. And it's a good little show for spooky season. I feel like we're not, now that Mike Flanagan, I've complained about him for years. Every year I say a new mean thing about Mike Flanagan, who is obsessed with writing the longest monologues you will ever hear. And it's like, they're not good for me. You know what I mean? It's like a few words would have sufficed. But now that he's gotten out of the October Netflix show game, I am like, I'm sorry I said those things, Mike. I still needed you to make one every year. What do you mean? But so I'm rewatching The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
It was mostly good.
That one.
Yeah.
I didn't get into this in our group chat, but when we were watching Castle Rock, the finale, I went into this, like, I think I missed like 10 to 15 minutes of it because I went into this deep dive because they kept saying basement. And I was like, well, we don't say basement really in New England, you say cellar. But I was like, is that a Massachusetts / Connecticut thing? What are they doing up in Maine? Because I often don't know what they're doing up in Maine. And
nobody does.
No. And I couldn't really get a clear answer, but I do think that they're cellar people. So I just kept being like, they locked the boy in the cellar. Be real. Well, get real with yourself.
I mean, the thing is, too, is that a cellar is
if it's
different than
prison?
a basement, I feel like.
Not in New England.
A prison can't have a cellar. Like, what are they keeping down there? Turnips?
But you guys don't have really, like, finished basements in
we do.
New England.
We have
I've never seen one.
Companies that will make
and you still call it a cellar if it's a full-on
civilization.
Yeah,
if it's a full-on furnished basement, you call it a cellar.
Yeah, it's a cellar.
That is crazy. I mean, I was on your side until Anne put it that way, and then suddenly I was like, "Wait, you're right."
So you're like, "I'm going down to the cellar to watch TV." So like that is a sentence someone would say.
I grew up in a finished basement. Like that was where my bedroom.
Yeah, they didn't let you out. I know. Yeah.
No, but like if you want to make it clear that you're not living in cinder blocks, you say finished basement. But if you're just like, I'm going to run down cellar and get this, like, in casual conversation, it's cellar.
Run down cellar.
This country's a rich tapestry. You'd think it's one culture, and it's not.
I do sometimes feel, it's like it's been said before, but sometimes, a European will say something like, America, why can't you get yourself in order? And it's like, look at the size of us. What do you mean? Like, of course nobody agrees about anything. Of course it's like, just the sheer size of the country has driven people insane. Like,
of course none of us know what Maine is up to, even the ones of us who live in Massachusetts.
There's nothing you can say about all of America. There's nothing you can say about us that we all share, actually.
So true.
The ingredients actually remain quite distinct.
It's true. And a European country that has its own language is like you drive 5 minutes and you're crossing a border. You're speaking French all of a sudden. Like, get it. Yeah. You get it together, Europe.
The thing is, every state has its own language, actually. But we just call them all English, and that makes it more confusing. I'm going to run down Cellar for a minute.
Run down Cellar. Wild. Never imagined in 1,000 years.
Yeah, wow, much to think about. Let's probably get out of this segment like probably about 5 minutes ago, but let's just quick say though, we did get that interview with the vampire trailer, and I kind of watched it in a fugue. I think I was waking up one morning, I woke up, it was like, it's there. I watch it, and I'm just lying in bed like beaming to myself, and then I think I said nothing to anybody because I was basically asleep. At least the world is crumbling around us because of Joe. Samoa Joe's Supreme Court is really making some decisions.
I don't know why. In my head, like, I was so convinced that you meant like JoJo Siwa, and I was like, well, she's annoying, Allie, but I don't think she's like.
I don't think she's what's damaging civilization right now. Like, ultimately, though, she is.
It's Samoa Joe's America. Yeah,
Samoa Joe is the cause. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding, but we'll get into him again in a minute, Anyway, though, I do want to say, amidst all these bad things, at least we have the vampire Lestat. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
It's so crazy. Every time I remember that he becomes a rock star, and that's canonical in the books, and it's been in other movies, it's just like, Anne Rice, the woman that you are.
The woman that you are. Yeah.
Her behavior was often in life incredibly bad. She was not an ally to fan communities, but nevertheless,
and she's clinically insane, perhaps, like really over-identified with her own characters and went pretty over the top with it.
Read that blog post where someone was like, what do you think Louis and Lestat's wedding would be like? And she's like, I'm so glad somebody finally has.
I think about it every night before I fall asleep. I pick their flowers. I pick the colors.
Oh, Anne Rice. They'll never make me hate you.
Classic vampire girl.
Did you ever see that Greta tweet where she like posted like what's Lestat's actor's name? His like
Sam
Reed.
Yeah, his headshot from like before with he had like the short nerdy hair, and she was like, Anne Rice saw this and said, Lestat's in good hands now. I can go.
I can go. Oh my gosh! Wow, beautiful. So anyway, we have that at least, and we've got this basketball show, I guess, and we've got The Resident starring Matt.
I can't say his last name.
Starring
like,
Matt. Matt Huntsberger. Yeah, Logan Huntsberger.
Wow.
Gilmore
I love
Girls,
him from The Good Wife
Carrie
so
the Good
much.
Wife. Yeah.
He really
remember his last
retroactively
name.
made me like Logan so much more.
I know. He was so good on The Good Wife.
Yeah.
But none of us can say his name, so we won't.
No.
And is he a good character on The Resident?
Yeah.
He is a character.
Okay. Not what I asked at all. Absolutely not what I asked.
He is quite a big character.
How are his morals?
Is he the titular resident?
He is the resident. Yeah. He is the resident. He's kind of like a cute Dr. House with no like with resident powers. Like he's always right and he's an asshole, but like he gets bullied by the attendings. Huh?
He gets bullied.
He does keep twisting his ankle. That's a plot that's come up several times. Maybe it's foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. This is actually a prequel to House MD? Question mark. Leah once, I guess we must have had this podcast when you did it. Leah once watched the entire run of House MD and then hopped into the group chat and cheerfully was like, I started it over. I'm just watching it again.
It was honestly my perfect show at the time that I needed it. And so I was like, there's nothing else.
Yeah, there's nothing else for me but Dr. House.
Well,
sometimes you say, what am I going to do with my life now that I've finished binging the show? And you can say, I'm
starting it over.
Episode 1, season 1, episode 1.
And there's like 6 or 7 seasons. So by the time you get there, you really can turn around and you've forgotten a lot of the stuff that happened at the beginning.
That's a benefit of our state of mind.
I mean,
it's pretty easy to rewatch things.
The real issue the real issue with me is that I apparently like the format of detective shows, but I don't like anything about murder. So it turns out my perfect show is medical. Like,
yeah. I mean, Dr. House really, yeah.
I think
Mr. based on Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
I was going to say you're in good company with most of America. That's not something I would say about most of America, really. So it's like you're in company with most of America in saying that. But somehow when you say it like that, it's just like, that doesn't sound right. Like my ideal show is medical.
It's a medical
My
nature.
ideal show is doctor prescribed. Off to a great start. We forgot we had podcast business. Jesus Christ. If you've enjoyed this segment of us just like yapping, we were so excited to get to be on our friend Mike McGinnis started a podcast called Library Pizza, where he invites people to come on and talk to him about what they're reading. And we bullied him into letting all of us come on at once.
Yeah, I don't think it was what he was hoping for.
No, you'll hear all about it when you listen to the pod, which you should. We had a ton of fun. He's
so fun.
Just such a wonderful person and a wonderful friend, and was so fun to talk books with.
Yeah, had a blast.
Had a really good time. And we covered a huge range of books.
Yeah, well, you know us. We're
really
moving
true.
fast. We're dodging. We're ducking.
We're just hopping from lily pad to lily pad without barely touching ground.
But you know what? I thought that Mike did a really wonderful job. Like occasionally, like we've wandered, we've really taken an exit ramp, and he's so gentle when he's like, "Girls, the highway." Girls, come on.
He's just like,
And I wanted to go back to something you said 10 minutes ago and sort of follow up on that.
Yeah, can we take a little journey back onto the road? Can we?
So back to reading.
He managed us so well, and we were lucky to be there, and we hope to go back again. So we really strongly recommend that you go check out Library Pizza. And friend/enemy of the pod Blorb also was the episode before us. Also a total blast. So it's a strong start.
And I took one of her recs. I started the wager after she talked about it on the
Nice.
pod,
Oh, yeah?
which is a fictional terror type situation. And I'm
Ice?
there. Yeah, ice. On the ice.
On the ice. Okay. All right, I'm in. All right, girls, are you ready to talk wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, you know. All right. The Ops fought LFI on, I guess it was technically the Dynamite main event. It was like the mid-show main event because it was 2 hours of Dynamite, 1 hour of Collision. Tony, when I get my hands on you, you're going to wish she'd never been more, and I'll say that.
Too many weeks in a row, Tony.
You have tried my last nerve, Anthony Khan.
Our friend Emmy brought up that we did multiple times in the history of this pod say that Tony should just gaslight us into a 3-hour pod.
I know. He's doing
3-hour
it.
episode. And then he's doing it, and we're furious about it.
I don't know if we ever said he should gaslight us
We
to
said he
3 hours.
would.
Which he
And
has.
honestly, it's like this is part of the process because what he's doing is that then next time he does 2.5 hours, we'll be saying, well, at least it's not 3. So it's like it's you know, forward, back, but his mission is advancing, and we are falling before the swords of his ever longer wrestling shows because he wants us to live in the world we envisioned of our gas station where the wrestling is 24/7. Tony, just call. I just want to talk. Okay, I'll be really nice. Just give me a call. The Ops fought LFI. This is the Dynamite main event. Sammy was wearing his shirt the way it was totally open but tucked into his pants. I would say that was crazy.
It was crazy. Also,
Totally crazy.
Chai Mothboy cut Collision for us. Did you know that part of Sammy's new gimmick is that he just says his name over and over as part of his entrance?
He stole that from Windsor.
Sammy! Yeah, I guess he did steal that from Windsor. Wow.
Oh my God,
He's a heel
Sammy.
though, so I guess maybe it's heel behavior to steal somebody else's gimmick.
That would be a pretty
while they're on
funny
vacation, I guess.
It'd be a funny heel gimmick to just steal other people's stuff.
Yeah, if you stole a different one every week, or if like someone who always steals the gimmick of the person that they're fighting, like kind of like a mirror fighting situation. So,
And the other person would get really mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be fun.
Okay, so Hangman's on commentary. Samoa Joe is in the match, obviously. He's a member of the Ops. Hangman calls Samoa Joe an absolute Christmas ham of a man. You're a wonderful boy, Hangman.
Incredible.
You're
Incredible.
good. You're a smart and funny person. I'll say that.
That's so funny. Brian Danielson really did laugh at that, too.
He really
which was
liked
very
it,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dralistico tapped to Samoa Joe for an Ops win. Joe picked up his belt, and then he's staring Hangman down, and then he gets attacked from behind by Roosh, who then comes out on the apron and spits at Hangman, which I thought was funny because I was like, I guess maybe you're going to fight Hangman. We got to line up some opponents, so I guess that's what's going on there. Hangman's just like, what? Everyone is so crazy around. Like, his face was just like, what on earth? My God.
Like, now you're spitting at me? Like, God.
But then he's like, fine, I guess. So he goes, all right, guys, well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Standing up. This is like the sexiest thing a man can do is just look like pretty tired about what's happening. But it's like, I guess I'll just go, yeah, okay, so the guy who's been crazy to me is getting beaten up. But I guess I now have to stand up, take off my jacket, get in there and save him. Like, I guess.
But it's sexy because it's like, yeah, he doesn't want to do it, but nobody told him he had to. He did it on his own. You don't have to tell Hangman that the dishes need to get done. He's not going to enjoy doing them, but he's going to get up and do it.
Yeah. And when you put it that way, that is fully the sexiest thing a man can do. Yeah.
And I love equating saving Samoa Joe from his own problems to doing the dishes. Like, it's just like, yeah, I guess I just got to get in there and do you got to do the dishes every day, apparently.
It's just like the most boring grind kind of chore, but sure.
So you got to make your own fun in your mind, I guess.
He's like, maybe I can listen to a podcast while I do this.
Hangman gets up, he takes off his coat, he pops in an AirPod, and he heads to the ring. He says, and in case you're wondering, I'm listening to Library Pizza by Mike McGinnis. Okay, so he gets in there, he clears everyone out, he's taking down the whole LFI. He tries to buckshot Roosh, but Sammy helps Roosh out of the ring. I don't know why it makes it sound like Sammy's helping Roosh out of a carriage, and there's a hand flip. Sammy escorts Roosh from the ring. So he doesn't hit the buckshot. In the meantime, Samoa Joe has kind of recovered himself. He picks up Hangman's world title belt and turns to face Hangman. They're in a bit of a standoff. There's a mixed crowd response. I would say there are some light boos, but louder are the people screaming, "Joe's gonna kill you." I just want you to think about, it's like, if you have this attitude, Joe's gonna kill you, you're the reason that I can't enjoy wrestling right now. And we can't get into all that again. But you're the problem.
Allie was like, I'm not going to melt down this week.
I think I said while we were watching, I said to myself I wasn't going to melt down again this week, but look what's happening on my screen right now.
Anyway. The mere fact of Hangman saving Samoa Joe is like, this man's not being presented as a heel by the program, but whatever.
It's, you know what? Well, anyway, so Joe slaps the belt against Hangman's chest like a fucking rude bitch, like whatever. And then because he's like, he clearly is being like you did to me, and that's what caused all of this. It's like, babe, you didn't accept the belt. It's just what I don't get it. Anyway, and then he retreats and he's saying to himself, "You're gonna find out." Whatever. And so that's the segment. Any new thoughts? Any old thoughts you want to bring back? What do you got?
Just the same old thoughts, pretty much. So yeah, but I really think we should have a national conversation about the decline of manners.
I agree very much. I thought you were just going to say about the decline of man. I was like, so
I mean, sure, yeah, that too.
Been bad this whole
in
time.
Samoa Joe's America, yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. I feel like somehow we come on here and we discuss this every week, and I haven't been very normal about it a single week, and I somehow have never expressed myself very clearly about it, and I probably still won't right now. I do think one of our friends, Mark Gallup, pointed this out in our channel, and I was like, yeah, no, I agree with that. He was like, I think that the way that the program is being run and the way that Samoa Joe and Hangman are acting in it, like, Hangman knows it's about toxic masculinity, and Hangman is going to defeat toxic masculinity at the pay-per-view. I said, you're right about that. And I keep arguing with myself, like, what kind of pedantry do I want? What kind of pedantry do I want for my entertainment? But then I hear those Joe's gonna kill you, and I'm just like, I guess a lot. I think some of you don't deserve to watch wrestling. I think you should be in a classroom learning things that you didn't learn the first time around.
Yeah. I mean, really, like, if they were doing this feud exactly the same, but Joe had been a heel going into it, and the crowd responded as if he was a heel, I think it would be fine.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be that hard. I mean, it's like, if you have these showdowns and have, like, Renee standing in the middle of it being like, oh my God, you know, like,
Yeah.
this is insane. Or you just have people reacting around it being like, this is out of pocket. Like, you could have the exact same feud.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's just
a little more like project. If the audience won't do it on their own, like create an audience within the show that reacts that way. Yeah.
Right. Manufacture an audience. Yes.
Right. Give people some cues, like put a little laugh sign on, you know.
This is how you're supposed to react.
Renee is horrified by Joe's behavior. Yeah.
I'm just imagining like RJ City reading that cue card. Renee is horrified by Joe. Yeah, no, I agree completely. And and I think I feel like, you know, I could be missing something that someone said, but I feel like Hangman also could say, like, you know, to be honest, I didn't think this is the kind of guy you were. Like, you know.
Yeah. Right.
I thought that you were a person who, like, you know, understood. Like, it's like, yeah, we get aggressive sometimes in wrestling, but I thought you kind of understood, like, don't be a dick for no reason. But it turns out you don't.
Right. Yeah.
I think someone could say that. I think it'd be okay if someone said that. It would make me feel good.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And again, it's like,
I would love it.
So much? I don't know.
Listen, if Hangman was like, Samoa Joe, you're getting older, and when you get angry like this, your blood vessels, they get thick. It's not good for you. It's not good. Those stress hormones, not good for you. You're gonna have a heart attack.
Joe,
Calm down.
do you want to become an old hag?
Hey, all that anger, it's aging you.
Say, I'll stay young forever. he's been plenty angry. He's gonna be an old hag too.
It'd be such a funny gimmick to go around concerned trolling people about their looks. Like, wow, you're really gonna get wrinkles like when you screw up your face like that.
Yeah, that mean mugging face, it's giving you little lines.
Yeah. I could loan you some skincare.
You know
give you some recommendations.
You know who could do this gimmick without even changing like a single thing is MXM. Like they easily could just slide into that.
That would be pretty funny. Yeah, that would be pretty funny. You know, yeah, go for it. I mean, it's heel stuff, but it's like fun heel stuff. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so any expectations that you want to air for Wrestledream?
No, and that's like kind of the problem with this is that it's like Samoa Joe's going to lose, and he's probably going to lose in a semi-boring way. And
I hope it's a humiliating. I hope it's a kind of weird, humiliating way. Like, and I hope it's of his own making. You know what I mean? I hope he gets so mad that he does something crazy and he ends up like stuck in a tree. You know, and it's like, just like,
he gets so mad he steps on a rake and then trips, like sits on his own balls, and then he's like,
Hangman, how dare you? And Hangman's like, baby, I'm in the ring. I have nothing to do with it. Like sometimes the most dangerous enemy of all is your own rage. That makes you think.
And everyone in the audience can learn a valuable lesson.
And they say, oh, wait a second. Okay, yeah. Yes.
And then we solve toxic masculinity in America.
And the whole bus claps.
Mox appears and goes, what did I say? You're never when you're in the ring, you're never facing your opponent. You're facing yourself. What did I just tell Darby?
So, I mean, we'll get to that, but what a horny thing to say.
Yeah.
Woo! At least someone's giving me something to beat off to, you know what I mean? All right, well, if perchance Samoa Joe does win, then
you'll never hear from us again.
Play the Great American Song of Sorrow taps, and that'll be it for Tunnel Talk. You know, but
it would be funny if we did have to quit in a rage and we did upload the next episode and it was just 1 minute long and it was the American Song of Sorrow taps.
Gone the sun. Yeah, well, you know, we'll see if you get to hear it. That would be so fun for all of you, wouldn't it? To get to hear the American Song of Sorrow taps on Tunnel Talk. And then to never hear from any of us ever again.
So, and then we go take over Library Pizza, and Mike's like, "Oh, this was my podcast."
Mike, budge up.
Scoot over. We're hosting now.
Mike's like, I don't have a big enough table for this. We're like, what? Wait, waitress, we need a corner booth.
Mike, let me tell you how you talk to waitresses.
Okay, let's move on. Darby, y'all done here? Darby attacked Mox at Comic-Con. This was really fun. They played the clip on Collision. It was a really fun, like, attack. I wish I had been there live, you know, fun to see. And also, I do think the greatest thing about it, when I watched it again, I was like, Wow. And this is what happens when you're really good at politicking, aka a good normal office worker, is that your billionaire boss is like, oh, Orange Cassidy, my God, get away from this. Please, my special boy, let me put my body between you and the danger.
Tony was also cracking me up because he had he'd really gotten into kayfabe where he had his face on, like, oh, how can my boys be doing this kind of stuff?
No. He was kind of reaching out for Swerve too, where it was like, oh, see, get behind me, and I'm gonna get behind Swerve, and then we're all gonna be okay.
And it was like, that's a smart instinct. I think it is in kayfabe maybe a little offensive that you're like, Orange Cassidy, get behind me, but I like that it speaks to the strength of your bond. So that's
his emotional support, Orange Cassidy.
I know. He's like, I can't, if he gets damaged again, I'm not going to be able to make it through the next couple of months. People are so mean. I need him here. I need my guy. Yeah. Okay. So then on Collision, the Death Riders got a backstage segment. Marina called Darby a little freak who needs a reset, which is really funny. Honestly, they all kind of killed this one. They all seemed really deranged. Daniel Garcia talked tough about how Darby's quote-unquote crazy act doesn't work on people like us, and said that Darby lacks structure. And then I will read this whole thing. I thought this was actually really good from Danny. Your life is meaningless, and you sure live it like it is, too. You're trying to kill yourself every chance you get, every time you're doing something crazy. You climbed Mount Everest and came down the exact same person. But this is my Mount Everest, and stomping your face into that chair was the peak, and I came down a different person. Danny, that was good.
It was really good. It's so fun for someone to say to Darby, hey, no matter where you go, there you are.
There you are.
Yeah.
And Darby's like, I actually never think about where I am or who I am. And that's the secret.
I'm actually climbing into very little oxygen areas to avoid letting the thoughts in. So eat shit, Danny.
I know it was like none of this is gonna permeate for Darby. This has nothing to do with his issues, but I thought it was a smart insight. Yeah.
And the lack structure thing is both extremely funny, and it's also like that's what Danny's telling himself down in that Death Rider's basement. Like when Mox has locked him in a trunk for a while or something, he's like, "This is giving me a lot of structure. I think I'm really gonna thrive here."
He's like, I'm just a dog, and this is my crate. This is healthy. This is healthy.
This is what makes you a winner. It's the structure.
So funny. Oh, Danny Garcia, I think this is a good move for him. I don't know exactly what's going on with his character right now, but everything he says is kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm going.
While he was talking, Yuta was kind of looking at him in this way where I was like, is this anything or no? But he was kind of side-eyeing him, and I was like...
I would love it if it's something, because I really do think that the two of them, power struggling for Mox's favorite son for a while would be I want it to be slow burn, but I'm just not convinced, because Yuta is very funny, where I'm like, what is going on with you?
I was cruising Twitter, and on I don't know who it was, but a like-minded individual in many senses, presumably, and if it was someone who listens, you reach out and let us know, and I'm happy to say it was you. But someone who had just posted a picture of Danny Garcia and was like, oh, he's so gone for him, and he's watching Yuta during the match, and they were suggesting, they were like, Danny Garcia's just in love with Yuta, and he's really excited that now he's in his boyfriend's family. And I was like, you know what? Okay. If they're not going to get in a fight, then they can make love. I'm happy with either.
Absolutely. I love the interpretation that that's, if you can't seduce a man, get his dad to be your dad, and then you're kind of around him a lot.
Foolproof plan.
Yeah.
Everybody jot that one down. You might want to use it sometime. You might want to. If you can't seduce a man, get his dad to be your dad. All right. And then Pac also, I don't think he said it. I mean, what he said was crazy, but I don't think he said anything that we really have to get into.
But saying that Darby paints his face like a low-grade children's entertainer, it's a good burn.
I know. I was like, yeah, well, you're all birthday clowns. Money-wise, Pac. So.
Money-wise.
And then Mox popped in at the end and said, the next time I see Darby Allin, he will get his face smashed in. That is a promise. So then on Dynamite, Mox and Darby met at what commentary called an undisclosed location.
Which is so funny. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
To say that, like, undisclosed location is so funny. It's like, what do you mean? What does that mean?
Well, they all went there. Like, what do you...
And also on Collision, they said they were going to do a promo on Dynamite where they couldn't touch, which was also like,
I missed
wow, okay. Okay, I like
Oh
where your
my
head's
God.
at.
I know, you're right. Like, they deny the Pokemon its desires.
That's right. That's where drama is. We've discussed it many times.
So the Pokemon meet at an undisclosed location, which turns out to be, what do you think this room is actually for? Like, where, literally, genuinely, I'm asking. What
It
is
looked
this?
like an abandoned, like,
Prison visitation room?
visitation or, like,
Yes.
bank teller.
It was, honestly, it was very Castle Rock. It was like,
Yeah.
is there a man down there? Is there,
the
also,
cellar?
is there a man in a hole in the
Is
cellar?
the man in the cellar?
Yeah. Does the title Castle Rock, all I can think of is Fraggle Rock every time
Yeah,
they say it.
it's funny. It's inherently funny.
It's inherently funny, yeah.
You're right. You're completely right. Okay, what are we talking about? Oh, they're in the undisclosed location prison room. Let's say they're at Castle Rock. They're at Castle Rock Prison near the hole. Okay,
Famously Shawshank.
Yeah.
famously, you call it Shawshank. I call it Castle Rock Prison. Tomato. Famously, fuck you. You're right, but okay. I wish I hadn't typed so much here. So, and it goes on for a long time, doesn't it?
You didn't set yourself up for success, no.
All right. So the setup is Mox comes in one side of the room, and then there's a plexiglass, presumably pane, with a little speaking, air hole. And then Darby's on the other side, awaiting to be spoken to. And they have a little back and forth. Now,
It's all lit in red, too. It's very
It's
ominous
atmospheric.
looking.
It's crazy that they're there. And I love it. I love that
Loved
we're
it.
here.
I loved it. Now, did the lighting throw you guys out of it?
No. What do you mean?
It did not. I experienced this whole promo as like, wow, I am loving every second of this. I am not sure if I'm loving it because it's so good or if it's so bad, but it's transcendent. And then actually our friend Mike today said it was camp. And I was like, oh,
That
yeah,
was
that
exactly
my
right.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly
That is
right.
exactly how I experienced it.
From moment
Which is
to
how I
moment.
experienced a lot of wrestling.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I sat up the moment it started and was like, this is something new. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm paying
Yeah.
attention. You have my full attention, which almost nothing does.
No, I said I've got to watch this with both eyes. Now,
Like something crazy is happening.
crazy is happening. Now, what do they have to say to each other, girls? What were the highlights for you?
I think Mox being like, I'm not gonna quit. You're not gonna quit. So what the fuck are we gonna do here? I'm like, these are great questions to be
What
asking
is
before an I quit match.
Why is the Brokeback Mountain line that's like, we're in a hell of an unsolvable situation?
A bitch of a unsatisfactory situation.
That's pretty much how Mox came in. He goes, I got a wife, you got a wife.
I can't quit you. You can't quit me.
What are we going to do? Live on a date in a mountain forever? It's like, it did feel like he was saying, like, hey, Darby, could we be the first pair of wrestlers to ever actually fight forever? Like, and he said it was like a proposal. He was like, should we fight forever?
If
Like-
you told me that Wrestledream, like, their match starts, there's still 3-4 matches on the card, but then we never actually get to them because neither one of them say I quit, and so the match can't end. It's 2 a.m. We're all being like, guys, one of you's got to quit. And they're like, we're still going. We're still going.
It would be so funny if they put them on last and they did just keep fighting and it's like, doing an overrun and then they just turn the cameras off because they're like, well, we got to stop. Like, we got to stop. They can't.
Excalibur's like, we'll come back to this maybe.
Yeah, we'll check in next week and see if they're still going.
In like basically every culture on Earth, there's like mythology around like how the constellations came to be. And often it's like so-and-so like chucked a fig into the sky and that's how we got Cassiopeia. Doesn't it feel like Mox and Darby should somehow get shot into space, and then it's like, and they're still fighting up there to this day.
You can see them wrestling.
You can see them if you trace just right up there. Yes, that's them, and no one will ever win.
And Mox is choking Darby, and sometimes when Venus is in the fourth house, Darby is choking Mox,
and that's how they're happiest. Is they're so happy up there
and
in the sky.
Stars twinkle at you. Say yes. And we're loving it.
Sailors actually guide their way home by it.
This is one of our most beautiful little imagines, honestly.
I know, I'm really happy, honestly. Look, they say some pretty crazy stuff to us in here. Darby says, Leah, I think you had an immediate response to this that you wouldn't share at the time, so I'm excited to hear it. Darby said, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about joining the Death Riders. I understand the cause. I understand what it is you're trying to do, but it's you. It's you I don't respect because you murdered your brother, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Okay, Leah.
I think multiple people and I'm going to try my best not to subtweet people, a bunch of people in our Discord really snagged on this and was like, this came out of nowhere and I thought it was like terrible. But to me, it made perfect sense. This whole feud, I think the theme has been like, the two of them are having the fucking time of their life. Like, this is what they were born to do. They're feeling realized. Like, both of them have come alive during this match. And it's come incredibly clear that, like, they're not the same people. They're different wrestlers. They're different, like, personalities. But there's some base core to them that is the same. And I think Darby was saying, like, the thing that you are saying that the Death Riders are, like, the cult leader stuff where he says, like, I'm going to take over AEW so that there's no more politicking and there's no more whining and I don't want, like, flashy stuff and we're not silly. We're actually coming here to do the violence, to do the fighting because fighting is all that matters. Excuse me. I think Darby was saying, like, there's something in me that gravitates towards that. Like, that's something that I fundamentally understand and agree with. Which I think is consistent with Darby's character, that he's not a politicker and he's not, like, doing goofy stuff. Like, he loves the fight as much as Mox does. But then he goes on to say, I don't respect you for the things that, like, I respect the philosophy you're saying with your mouth, but the things that you've actually done, I don't respect. And that's why I can't ever stop. Like, I can't ever let you be. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So that made, like, it made such perfect sense to me that I was, like, a little bit shocked that other people snagged on it.
Yeah. It totally made sense to me, too. Like, with that, just the similar attitude. It's like, of course, Darby wants everyone to be, like, more insane and more violent, you know? And then also, I think it was Rich Latta actually was saying, like, oh, you know, like, Mox has set him on fire and he wants to join him. And it's like, if it was anyone else, like, I would agree. But it's like, Darby would never hold that against someone. Like, he wants to be set on fire. That was one of the highlights of his year, you know?
Right. That's, like, love language stuff between the two of them.
Right. And it's like, does part of this make sense to us because Darby's character is not that much of a character and Darby just loves getting set on fire? Yeah, of course. But, like, you're working with what you got. And it's like, I do think there's an internal consistency. I find it a little difficult to actually describe what I think Darby the character's, like, interior philosophy is, but it makes sense to me, like you said, Leah, that he's like, I want everyone to come out and, like, go fucking hard. I don't want to hear any complaining about it. I don't want to hear, like, you know, I don't want to, like, I don't want anything to get in the way of having these matches where we are throwing our bodies against the stallions against each other wildly. And at the same time, like, Darby does have a personal loyalty code, kind of, where he's like, when you love someone, you love them the same way. And you would never turn on them. You would never do anything bad to them. Like me with my best friend Sting. I would never do anything to hurt Sting.
Yeah. No, that's true. Like, Darby's a babyface, not in, like, a disinterested Jetspeed way where he's going to save people. But he's like, yeah, he has a very bonded loyalty.
He's a bonded cat.
Yeah. But he's like, when you find that one person that you can pair bond with, like he did with Sting and like Mox did with Danielson, it's like, of course, you have to respect that.
And I think, I mean, Darby, I think, is like, if there are rules of engagement, you should follow the rules of engagement. But the thing that he's drawn to with the Death Riders is that Mox is being like, the rules of engagement are show up and fight like a fucking demon. And he's like, that would rock if no one was ever like, Darby, you went too far. That would be so cool.
He's like, probably if I went to the Death Riders basement, they'd throw me down those stairs over and over and over.
And nobody would say like, wait a second, Doc Samson has to come check on you.
Right. He's like, I know in so many ways I would be sexually fulfilled by being in the Death Riders, but I have morals, okay?
I heard they have a trunk that they locked Annie Garcia in.
And I could sleep there every night. Yeah, I mean, it checked out to me. And of course, it's like Darby's delivery always leaves something to be desired. So it's like, is he selling it to you in like a theatrical character sense? Perhaps not. But actually, everything about it, as we've all said, it fully checks out for me. I'm like, this adds up. And they go back and forth some more. And they said a bunch of fucking horny ass things in here. It's like, we can't say all of them. We'd be here all night, But Mox ends by saying, let's see where he gets like, okay, yeah. Your opponent at Wrestledream is not me, never has been. It's never the guy standing across the room from you. Every time you go to the ring, every time you climb a mountain, every time you jump your skateboard off the top of a building or off a bridge or set yourself on fire or shoot yourself out of a cannon, you're fighting ghosts, spirits, demons of the past, whatever it is. None of my business. I played that game. I played that game a lot. I fought a lot of ghosts. It never ends well. Chasing highs, trying to prove to the world you're indestructible in the most literal sense. This is a selfish game, and I'm not selfish. The biggest difference between me and you going into WrestleDream, the thing you cannot get through your head, this is not about me. It's like, do I think this is resonating with Darby? No. But is this a very erotic speech? Yes.
When Mox hits, he hits. Yeah.
I think there's something in this where Mox is also like gravitate. Like I wish we had watched Darby and Mox's original thing, because I think at the beginning of AEW before we started, they had some kind of relationship, and it keeps making me want to go back and see what it was. But I think there is something here also where like Mox is incredibly like gravitating towards Darby in some ways, and like sees the ways that like Darby does get him in a way that I don't think like Yuta quite gets Mox. You know what I mean? Like there's something that Mox recognizes in Darby as being similar.
Yeah.
Also, in the line of horny things that Mox said, I just realized I left this out of the transcript when I was typing it up. But he said at the beginning, he goes, "This might not mean anything to you, Darby, but I've never lied to you." Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Crazy. That's a real sitting straight up line. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I wish I could honestly read this whole poem right now. It feels so pertinent to me, but I won't do that. I will just read the very last line. But you guys know the Sharon Olds poem, Sex Without Love?
Yeah.
Like truly an all-time banger of a poem where she starts saying like, how do they do it? The ones who make love without love. And she's just talking about like, what are we doing when we're out there like just fucking people in the world? And she ends saying like, she's like, not the truth, which is the single body alone in the universe against its own best time. And to me, that is what fucking Mox is getting up to there. He's just like, you are the sexiest opponent you'll ever have. Like to be locked in battle with yourself and playing it out with other people is like, why were we put on this earth?
Yeah. And that's what's missing from the main event. You know what I mean? Like Mox and Darby are so locked into each other. Like even like Toni and Kris right now are like, you could tell they're panting to get to Wrestledream.
Yes,
panting
they are,
to get to each other. Yeah. And it's like that kind of like, I am locked into this is like what's like really missing from the Hangman feuds, which I know Hangman can get there. I'm like, can you give him a dance partner, please?
Yeah.
I can't believe no one wants to hear this, but you know that Fightful was just like, Samoa Joe says that he's not going to come back to wrestling. Like when his contract is up, he'll probably retire. And I said, okay, heart. Yay, heart. Okay, heart. But then everyone was on Twitter being like, oh, we're fucked when Samoa Joe retires. It's like, what do you mean? He's not doing anything. Like, I'm sorry. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. This to me was so, there's so much to unpack here. It's just like they're lunatics. I think they are lunatics that add up. Like, this is, this is how these particular crazy people would be talking to each other. I think that's true. Yeah. Anyway, Mox said, this is not about me. And behind Darby, you see a door opening and a dark figure coming in. And who could it be? He's clad all in clothing, as he always has been. It's Pac.
Clad all in clothing.
Did you hear Brian on commentary was like, and Pac's here wearing clothes.
He's like, which is unsettling. Yeah.
We're all confused. He's got maybe Brian's doing those recaps. He's got his clothes on.
I would love it if Brian Danielson is on commentary and doing the AEW recap. He's just over there while he's commentating, like taking notes.
He's a faster typer than you'd think.
You'd think.
So Pac then just beats the hell out of Darby, smashes his face quite a bit into the window. Mox is doing this fucking hammy ass thing where he's like looking up like he's whistling. I can't actually whistle, but just looking up like, oh, boom. I told you, I promised. All right, okay. So let's move on to what happened on Collision, I think, actually. So, oh no. Okay, yeah, okay. So we're going to circle back. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because I'll do... So then OC and Kylo Riley fought Danny and Yuta on the post-Dynamite Collision. We did get a little OC-Yuta interaction. OC stepped up to try and fight Yuta to begin with. Yuta tapped out immediately. Coward. Oh, you were afraid to face your father? Coward.
Yeah.
Garcia tapped... he tapped at one point. I think OC had him pinned. He tapped. But Marino was distracting the ref, so no one saw. Pac tried to murder OC. Claudio showed up, murdered Kylo, flung him into the ring. DG covered him for the win. Danny Garcia. Murder. Roddy, Ishii. Mox comes out to talk. But Darby's music hits immediately, and Darby staggers his ass. It's like, where was this undisclosed location?
He's been walking along the side of the highway for the past 2 hours.
Excalibur cracked me up because he was like, we just saw him, and then he went, earlier today.
I do have to say, I guess I'll say at this point, I know that one complaint and it's like, we love you. If we're in a Discord with you and you didn't like this, we love you. But I know that some of you had the complaint. You're just like, this just wasn't realistic. And it's like, no, none of this is. None of this is realistic.
You have to experience wrestling as camp.
None of this is realistic.
It never occurred to me for a second to be that worried about it. Like, when people get upset about the invisible camera thing, too, I'm like,
I know,
yeah.
I can't.
I mean, if this was real, a lot of people would go to jail. Like,
yeah, if this was real, Tony Khan has an empty locker room.
A lot of time when lifelong wrestling fans talk about what's good and bad, it's like, you all reached a consensus 30 years ago that this thing is bad, but I don't know why, and I'm not sure you know why sometimes.
And we've said it many times, we'll say it many more times. If it were bad, it would be bad. But when it's good, then it's good. So if it's good, it's good, and if it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
We've been very consistent about that.
Very consistent about that. We've never said anything else.
It's one of our core principles, actually.
Mm-hmm. Try anything. If it's good, and then you know what? If you try and you fuck it up, we'll come on here and say, well, it was bad.
It was bad.
As they suggested it might be, it was bad this time.
Hey, we admitted that the cash-in was bad.
Yeah.
We're not afraid.
We said we wish it had been good. And if it were good, we would say that it were good.
And if they try it again sometime in the future and it seems like it might be good, I'll see it. I'll give it a shot. But if it's bad, I'll say it's bad.
We'll try and kick the football again. That's what wrestling asks you, to kick the football over and over again. And yes, it pulls the football on you, but sometimes you do get to kick it. And that's what keeps you coming back for more.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay? So, so write that down in your notebooks where you wrote that tip about making your boyfriend's father your father.
And, the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, we're dropping a lot of stuff. Just, put it in your Tunnel Talk advice notebook.
Should we publish a book?
Oh, my God. The wit and wisdom of Tunnel Talk.
The wit and wisdom of Tunnel Talk. Mostly wisdom, really. Even though we laugh a lot. It's mostly wisdom.
Mostly wisdom. Yeah.
So
everyone's saying it.
Darby staggers out. He recently bashed by Pac into this prison bonding cell window. And he's getting then kicked by Claudio. He's getting kicked by Pac. Mox says very graciously, he says, even my little basement trunk boys can have a go at him. Darby, Yuta, go kick him a little if you want to. Darby, he manages to get to the ring. He kind of crawls up. He gets his hand on the ring. It's very
that camera angle
creature
ruled, because it was like Darby's not going to make it, and then you just see the hand slap down on the ring, and I'm
Come on.
Okay. I know that AEW has gotten well-deserved flack over the last couple months for missing important shots. That was a good shot.
That was a good shot. Yeah. That was a little light cinema. Enjoy it. You won't get it all the time. Enjoy it. And then, so he has brought his AEW flag that he took to the mountain of Everest. You've heard of it, and he puts it down in front of Mox, and he says, "It's never too late, John." And then it's like kind of shut your mouths, but it was quite well timed. Someone in the crowd just screams, "I love you, Darby!"
I know. I was like, when a man feels that burning desire to express his love to a wrestler,
beautiful to hear,
delightful.
So it's never too late, John, to say I quit. And Mox looks like, fuck you, you little freak. And he death riders him onto the flag, and then he just kind of storms off a little bit. Like, it was pretty funny, honestly. Like, it looked like he was just thinking, like, how the fuck did you get back from that undisclosed location?
There's something I find so horny about the way Darby, like, the way anybody, but Darby in particular, says John. Where, it just feels forbidden in some way, where I'm just like, ooh.
It does. Yeah,
it's
when
intimate.
they call him John, I hadn't thought about it, but you're very right.
It's never too late, John.
Oh, John.
Oh.
First name.
And after that,
intimate.
that John just told you that the man you're fighting will always be yourself. Ooh la la. All right. And so then that's what we got, and then they're going to fight at Wrestledream. Anything else to say about Mox and Darby? You know what? It's fucking working for me. I feel good.
Yeah,
I feel good. It was the highlight of my night, and I have a feeling that the match is going to be the highlight of Wrestledream.
I know, because I am like, I can't imagine either of them saying I quit. I mean, you know that it's like, it has to be Mox, but
yeah.
I don't know
Darby
how to
literally never, ever would.
I know. I hope
he would die. He would die.
He would rather die. Yeah, he'd be thrilled to die. Actually, yeah.
Kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me.
Like, I love the idea of Mox being like, I quit, and Darby being like, wait, no, not yet.
No, Mox, you said you never quit.
But you said we could do another round of chokies. And
just choke me one more time.
That's the point at which something happens that launches them into the sky. And if you look up there and you go out to the woods on a lovely clear night away from the light pollution of the city, and you see them fighting up there.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
If you can't see them, they have apps where you can scan the sky, and they say, hey, that's John and Darby.
There is no shame in asking for help if you need to see John and Darby.
It's the constellation called The Wrestlers. It's a beautiful one.
Honestly, I feel really moved. I'm like, kind of like, guys, should we go to a cabin where there's no light pollution so we can see the wrestlers?
I know. We gotta drive to Nevada, you guys. Can we someone get in the car?
Go to a dark sky park. All right, that's enough of that. What were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, we'll get a blanket, we'll lie on our backs in the blanket and point to the sky.
Point to the
sky.
sky. I see them.
The Babylonians first identified them in the sky.
I think that they'd be so happy. Like, I really feel like it's like where they both want to be.
Yeah, like to the point where I'm like actually a little sad, because I'm like, but they can't be.
Can't happen.
They have to be in physical bodies, which they hate.
I know. Tony Khan is going to make one of them say, I quit. That's so sick. So
maybe if they're like really good, then someday Zeus will toss them up there and they can get stuck.
I hope so.
Tony, can't you pay a witch to do it? Tony, why won't you ever pay a witch to do anything for us?
Just hire a little Etsy witch. I hear they're very effective.
Cancel.
Don't get me fired. Please don't dox me to Mind Flare. I wasn't talking about anything specific.
Harley Cameron, Kris Statlander, and Toni Storm teamed up to fight Triangle of Madness on Collision. Afterwards, they had this little promo I don't even remember what I thought was funny. Kris was just being funny in this promo. Harley was like, I got to let you know that I did ask Mercedes if she wanted to team up with me at Wrestledream, and she said no. And so now I'm wondering if you want to team up with me at Wrestledream and we could be a tag team. And Kris was like, girl, I've got a singles belt. I'm a single mother, so no, I work 2 jobs. I love my kids. I never stop. So no, I can't be in a tag team with you.
She was so funny where she was like, "Oh, Harley, I would, except I really am doing this right now."
I would, except I wouldn't because of what's happening in my life. And she was about to recommend a different partner, but Yuta was just lurking nearby, I guess. So it is kind of like, Yuta, I guess you are dysregulated in your family because, like, why are you hanging around your sister so much?
Right. It's like, but there's a new baby at Mox's. I don't want to go home.
There was another moment where I was like, I don't understand what's going on with Yuta because his vibe was like, oh, are you making a friend that you're going to abandon at the last second? And I was like, okay, I think that's a gross misrepresentation of what was happening between the two of you.
But
also, he was like so mad at her, so it's very funny for him to just be like hanging around to be like, make funny faces.
But I think that kind of adds up, except that I don't know if that's what they're doing on purpose. But I'm like, Yuta had, like, everything was coming out through the lens of, like, I'm being a good, like, soldier for Mox, and I'm recruiting a really strong candidate, and she's going to join our faction. That's going to be great. But it feels like little brother Yuta had gotten himself pretty excited, actually. Like, my sister is going to join the team, and she's going to be evil too, and we're going to have so much fun. We're going to be evil together. And then she said no, and he was furious. But now his vibe is just kind of like, what do you mean you didn't join my family? Like, I thought we were going to hang out again. This sucks.
You still could. Like, I'm just going to hang around in case you say you changed your mind.
He just talked himself into it a little too much. And he's just like, I kind of miss it. I kind of miss my family a little bit, you know? So I kind of like that he's just like lurking around all the time, like, oh, you're so mad that you wouldn't hang out with me. It's younger brother behavior.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's looking around and he says, you know, like, oh, that's classic Kris. You're always making a friend and then letting him down. And Chris's vibe is like, oh my God, you're so annoying. Get out of my room. And Tony Storm then cruises up and starts shouting, why don't you fight me right now, Big Stat Daddy? Fight me now.
The energy between the two of them was so sexually unhinged.
Electric.
Like, I did not know that Kris had it in her. Like, wow.
They are bringing out a really, and sometimes this happened more on the Dynamite thing we're about to talk about, but Kris starts getting the Mid-Atlantic accent. Like, she's like so into what's happening that she's like doing Tony's thing. Because Tony's energy is like pretty, the intensity that she brings to this is just like, wow, everyone could learn something from you. They really can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then Yuta skulks off and he's like tugging Hamley at his collar, like, well, I want to be in that hot water right now.
It's like, Yuta, your energy right now is crazy.
I don't know why I keep thinking of him as the little, I'm like back in my childhood reading the Saturday cartoons, like I think of him as the little foxtrot boy with his pet lizard.
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
And Kris has a pet lizard. Well, there you go.
Oh, wow. You're connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots. All right. Stat and Tony then got to sit down with Renee on Dynamite. What did you guys think about that?
This was so funny. The fact that they aggressively were stripping, and then Renee was like, I've had enough of the two of you, and she started stripping. I was like, this is feminism.
Renee was giving a certain degree of sexual frazzlement. She's like, what is going on?
It was like, wow, the pheromones in this room are like affecting everyone. Like, can't help it. Crazy.
They all managed to sit down mostly clothed, still mostly clothed. And they got into a little back and forth where Tony's kind of explaining, you know, like, it's not about you, Kris. This is what I've realized the belt means to me. Like, I need the belt, blah, 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 blah.
She's doing that hair slicked back thing with the, like, menswear that's like, this is,
with the
pretty good.
The little corset just peeking out. I'm like, oh my God.
Right. She is good at changing the look up.
Awooga, awooga, hubba, hubba. She looks so good. Anything you want to draw out specifically from the back and forth?
I mean, it's just like, I don't even know if they said anything like that. I mean, they said good stuff because, like, Tony was talking about how, like, you know, who am I without the belt and all this kind of stuff, but who are you with it and stuff. But I mean, I honestly kept getting distracted by just like how much intensity they were bringing to it.
Yeah, it almost didn't matter what they were saying. I was much more clocked into the way that they were looking at each other and the way they were like circling each other. I was like, the chemistry between the two of you is very good.
Yeah. Oh, and Toni said professional wrestling is a lie that reveals the truth. It's like, okay, that is a great line. Like, incredible.
And really exactly what we were saying about Samoa Joe last week, am I right?
So true, yeah.
So the room was feeling much too small, which is hot. And eventually they kind of drove each other to their feet, and Toni said that line, and Kris said, Toni, you know the truth, you just have to accept it. And Renee's back there, like, fanning herself, like, girls, please. I think you're both very strong and very beautiful. And Kris says, is this interview over? And Renee's like, I guess. She's like, I've barely gotten to say anything. And Toni says, good, meet me in the ring. And then they march off to the ring. And then next thing you know, it's BDSM Palooza, where it's just like, on your knees, I'm slapping you. I don't know. I'm blacking out, you know?
And this was like another like moment of like, can we do chokesies? Where like Toni was on her knees, like kneeling to Kris in like the most erotic possible way. And then like really effortlessly, like they switched it, and suddenly Kris was on her knees, and like the way that Toni was looking down at her, and I was like, I'm becoming a woman right now.
It was crazy.
It's like you're my mirror staring back at me. You know, we're not listening to Justin's music, but that one really slaps, actually. And so then they're kind of doing some fighting, blah, 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 blah. And then we get to this point where, so like you're saying, like Kris is like handing Toni the title to like offer her a free shot on her knees, and Toni is like gonna do it, and then is like, no, and then she puts the title on Statlander's shoulder and leaves a kiss on her forehead.
Oh,
crazy.
It was so good. It was unreal.
Crazy.
And Darby and Mox also did that forehead kiss thing. They really are like, and those feuds are the mirrors. I'm putting the pieces together. You know?
I know. There's a lot of pushing of the Overton window, I feel like, in the promotion in ways that I am enjoying. Yeah. And like, when we went into a Kris and Toni feud, I just never expected this amount of intensity and sexual everything. It's crazy.
Really pleased and proud. Really happy. Really.
Like, for this to be Chris's first title feud, it's like killing it. Like, if this is all she does, the reign's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
Good work. Good work, everybody. And I can't wait to see you at Wrestledream.
No.
FTR and yes,
The fact that our friend Hannah was like, I keep thinking you guys are joking when you say the name of this pay-per-view. Why is it called that? I don't know.
And then I'll tell you that our friend Jenna was here watching wrestling with me this week, and she also, independently not having seen that, I said Wrestledream. She goes, I just can't take you seriously when you say that. like that can't be real. I was like, yeah, that's how we all feel. Of course it's crazy that we just have to keep saying at Wrestledream. At Wrestledream.
When people are complaining like about Mox Darby being like too campy, not realistic enough, and it's like we're prepping for a show called Wrestledream. Like,
be so fucking for real right now.
Grow up.
Get a job. Okay.
Shut up.
Yes, Leah. Yes, Queen. Shut up, Queen, for the night. Okay. FTR and Megan Bayne fought Jetspeed and Willow Nightingale on Collision. It was true intergender. FTR, they did moves on Willow. They beat Willow up, and they were not afraid to do it. And I will hand it to Isis. And it seems like I'm constantly handing it to Isis these days. But
Isis is having a great fall.
I said a generational run for Isis this fall. It's Dax. You did a really nice job. Cash, I don't want to talk to you, but you did fine as well. Anyway, so it was a fun, genuine intergender match. They all did a good job. Seems to have gone on for quite a while. Match ends with some interference from Penelope Ford that allows her and Megan to hit a doomsday device on Willow. You know her. And then Harley runs out to save her, and they are going to team up at the Wrestledream. At Wrestledream.
At Wrestledream, you know, you love it.
Wrestledream. You know it, you love it.
Very normal and very tough sounding pay-per-view.
The realest, coolest pay-per-view of them all, Wrestledream. And they're gonna team up. FTR will fight Jetspeed, and Harley and Willow will take on Penelope and Megan, the girls. And that's good.
The fact that their team is called Top Gods, awful. I think that's awful.
Yeah. Top guys.
Not so good.
Like top guys. That's what's going on?
It's top guys, and then Megan
She's a
is
god.
somehow a
Yes.
god. And so
Shouldn't it be Top
gods.
Goddess? Top
Should be.
Goddess would be fun.
No, she's a god like Gwyneth Paltrow's an actor.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I was the misogynist.
That's right. That's right, Allie.
Damn it. You know what?
Uno reversed.
I'll take my punishment like a woman. Okay? And what does that mean? I don't know. But I know.
Bringing an energy to the podcast that I didn't expect.
It's what Kris and Toni did to us. They've empowered me. They've emboldened me.
Wow. Shifted the Overton window between the hosts.
And we'll discuss my punishment later. Follow-up segment on this week's Collision. Quote from the AEW.com recap. Dax Harwood let everyone know that Daddy was speaking. I read this before I watched anything, and then I went and looked at it, and I was like, and Chris Statlander is involved, Daddy. And then I was like, oh, Dax is calling himself Daddy? And I felt like I was like, wow, Stat is calling herself Stat Daddy? Careful, Isis.
It's insulting.
It is insulting. It's appropriation, I think.
Yeah,
it's appropriation.
I didn't care for
Yeah.
it.
But I guess I did just say about Sammy that it would be kind of funny if someone was always stealing people's gimmicks. So
That's true. If Dax
and he is a
wanted
heel.
to do that, then sure. They are getting very intense boos. FTR, I will stay for them. They are much
good.
more
That's
effective
good.
heels than they were baby faces,
They're
which
doing
they
it.
tried to be for like 5 years.
I don't think they were really trying. I think there was a long
that's
period where they were like, we'll never have to be heels. We'll be faces forever. It's good that you are being heels now, I think, for sure. And okay, so whatever. I don't care to get into all that. I got so tired. I posted this picture of the Pokemon. You don't have to know about that. We deny the Pokemon its desires. I'm the Pokemon. What do I desire?
And your desire was not to do the schedule.
Yeah, was to take a nap, but
Well, I was getting.
it's
I can't
denied.
believe Leah comes into our shared space, and then when I'm supposed to be doing the fucking schedule, and she just goes, "Anne, you have to listen to this Orange Cassidy interview," and Anne is like just me, like you want me, and I was like, yeah, just Anne, and Leah's like, well, you're doing the schedule, Allie, and I was like, okay, well, I don't think that you should be saying that right now. Then, if it's an activity that I would enjoy, but I'm not allowed to join in on, like, don't you think that's pretty fucked up?
May I say, if you have not watched it, or if you not listened to it,
Yeah.
his
I haven't.
his podcast with Katie Nelson was so
Nolan.
good. Nolan, whatever.
Yeah, the casuals, I think it's
The
called.
Casuals. It was so good. He talked more than I've ever
wait to
heard
hear
him
it.
talk about his personal life and about like his thoughts on wrestling, like his conception
great.
of like his place in wrestling. It was so good. And he told a story about a rat that I really enjoyed.
Oh, you told a story about a rat, huh?
He mentioned Chuck
wait to
Taylor
listen.
a lot.
Fuck off. Shut up.
Yeah, he really got into some. He said, "I birthed Yuta," but he said, there's a lot of stuff that he got into, but I think only Anne and I listened to it, and I think it was. I think it was
Allie
maybe
hasn't caught up on
expiring.
that
Oh, and yeah, it's expiring. I heard it's expiring while we record. And some of us are never gonna hear it.
I will say also that on the topic of camp, that she was saying that her fiance is into wrestling, and she like would try to watch it and like share his interests, and would be kind of like, but it's really silly, right? Like, I don't want to call it silly to him, but we all know it's silly, right? And then like he showed her Orange Cassidy, and that was what finally grabbed her, and she was like, yeah, I had been like worried that none of us knew it was silly, and then I watched you, and it was like, oh, it's silly, and we all know it, and we're in on it, which I do feel like is a pretty normal experience for a new wrestling fan or a non, which I think lifelong wrestling fans don't always realize that it's like
Yeah.
everyone outside it can see it's silly, and then we enjoy the silliness when we're all like in on it.
Yeah.
But that's like,
and once
the camp
we know
is the appeal.
Once we know that you're allowed to enjoy the silliness or acknowledge the silliness, then it's like the serious parts hit harder. Like, it's so fun when wrestling has those moments where you're like, this is really hitting. Like, this feels really, like, this is saying something to me about the human condition right now. On my TV show that usually I'm just like, that's so fucking stupid. I love it.
Yeah. It's like, but you have to have these moments where you're like, that was ridiculous. This was the best thing I've ever seen.
It's about tonal modulation. You know, you can't have only one tone because then that tone becomes nothing. Yeah. So relation is how we understand what things really are, what they mean.
So true.
Semiotics.
Write that down in your Tunnel Talk wisdom notebook.
Are you all taking notes in class?
Should we start selling little Tunnel Talk notebooks in which you can take your notes?
Some of you have not been doing very well on the pop quizzes. Okay?
I'm envisioning it's like a journal with like blank pages, but at the top like has like a quote of the day from one of us.
That's beautiful. That would be beautiful.
Word of wisdom.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Someone start pulling words of wisdom that we can put us quotes on every page of the
I'm kind of like,
journal.
there's a lot of pages in a notebook, and
we've recorded 200 and how many episodes?
yeah, but I'm scared of most things we've said.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying, of course.
Okay, wouldn't you buy a notebook in which a randomly generated phrase was put at the top, and we have no control over what it is?
We have no control.
No, we have to send it to the printer without review.
Wow.
I don't know. They're gonna get some rough stuff in there. I can say anything.
My work does that. Every time you log in, there's like a quote of the day or whatever, and they're just like random, but they're so weird a lot of the time. Can't think of an example,
honestly,
so it's not really a good story, but
the weirder the better. The weirder the better.
True.
All right, what else we got in here? I don't think there's anything else we really need to talk about, actually. Like, there's some other matches, but these are not rich. I would say these are not very rich feuds. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can we skip it?
Yeah.
It's just it's Jamie Tekla, you know.
Oh,
whatever.
you mean with the women?
Yeah.
Allie, I was like, if you skip the Young Bucks segment, like I thought you were trying to end the podcast, and I was like, Allie, we're not skipping the Young Bucks. When you were like, there's just some matches, can we just go back to this? No,
That was a fun troll. Imagine if I were doing that. It's like we're barely over an hour. Like, imagine barely over an hour. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of think that's it. Like, let's just get the fuck out of here.
It would be funny.
So pissed. Like, I was like, what? Does she really want to talk about Jamie Hayter and Tekla? They haven't done that much.
I was looking at the dessert of the Young Bucks section, and you're just ripping it off the table. Like,
yeah, you're like, can we
stop.
y'all done here? And I'm like, what the?
No.
You promised I could have cake if I ate my vegetables and
You
talked
get
about
back
FTR.
here. You get back here and get in this Young Bucks section, or I swear to God, I'll flip out.
I heard we're all full. We're not hungry anymore. We can save the pie for tomorrow.
Open your fucking mouth.
And then Leah force feeds me.
Cut it.
Cut it.
Wow.
Well, you're in charge. You cut it. I was about to accidentally say something much worse. All right. Okay, so we're moving on to Josh Alexander murdered Ibushi for shoot on Collision. No, it wasn't his fault, but Ibushi did break his femur.
We don't know whether or not it was his fault.
Wow.
And it's like, let's leave it open.
I'm just saying.
Don't let him off the hook.
Let's just not get out over our skis, okay? I haven't heard whether it was his fault or not.
We don't know whether or not Josh Alexander... Guys, we don't know anything. We know that Ibushi's injured. He broke his little femur, and that's really bad. That's sad. When he posted some sweet pictures of himself, and he says, "Oh God, this is horrible, but I'll do my best, guys, and I just want to be a good boy." I said, "I know you do." And then Tony Khan wrote him this little letter and gave him and went and visited him. I was in prison. I guess a hospital is prison for wrestlers.
For wrestlers, yeah, totally.
He went and visited him in prison for wrestlers hospital, and the note was it's like all very sweet. It's like, Ibushi, we want you better. And Tony, it's really nice that you sent him a nice note and you sent him flowers and you went and visited him. But Tony's handwriting was So egregious.
I didn't have a chance to say this in our shared space, but did you not think that his handwriting is very close to the movie where it was like, Mr. Policeman, I love you all the clues.
Oh my God.
It's like, Tony, draw me a snowman. Let me see it.
I will say his handwriting was so funny, but Sarah did say that he might have like been writing like extra big and clear so that Ibushi could like, get a translation app or whatever to work, which I did think was a fair point,
I have really neat, lovely, all capital writing that I would use in that situation. It looks really nice.
Oh, you have really lovely.
I actually have had really lovely handwriting my whole life. And so it wouldn't be a problem for me to write out a very neat note that would be easy for anyone to read.
I have really bad handwriting. Do you know I almost got held back in second grade because my handwriting was so bad?
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Cursive handprint?
I'm sorry, Leah. I'm sorry that happened to you.
My mother moved me.
I know.
She moved me schools so I didn't get held back.
Oh, wow. Your mom had to game the system so that you could go to third grade?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad she did that because you're a very smart person, and I'm sure that you were ready to move on.
It's a suck up sentence, but sure.
And I would say the same about you if you told me a really sad story about how they tried to not let you go to third grade because of your handwriting. I'd be really nice to you about it.
I just have really bad
It is true. You're very smart.
motor skills. That's all.
Both of my girls are very smart. I'm always saying that about them.
Yeah, you are too, Allie. You're very smart.
Thank you.
We're a very intellectually gifted podcast, I think everyone would say.
That's why everybody is buying our wit and wisdom notebooks. To be honest, I don't know what we're talking about. Okay. Anyway, Mark Davis. Okay, so Ibushi has broken his femur. He is lying prone.
But he has a beautiful note from Tony Khan to comfort him with. So.
Later. It says, Mr. Ibushi, we're so excited and so happy. We're not excited. We're really upset that because of what's happened to you, but we love you so much and we can't wait for you to come back someday. And you're a very strong man and we love you very, very much. And thank you, Mr. Ibushi, and thank you. That's much love from Tony Khan. You're welcome.
I did think that Ibushi is like, honestly, like I was like, oh, that is a wrestler where he broke his fucking femur, but it was clear that like the angle at the end of it was supposed to be that Mark Davis like debuted and like beat him up. And so he was just like, bring him out anyways. So he's like laying on the ground in a crumpled heap with his broken leg. And he was like, bring him out. And so Mark Davis comes out and like beats him up even though he's broken.
Well, he's like shaking him by the shoulders, and you can see the doctor there being like, stabilize, stay very still. Careful, Mark.
Let's do a really nice beat down. I know the show must go on. He's a real worker, but let's be careful.
I did feel really fond of everybody involved and of wrestling in general as I watched it. Yeah. I was like, you're right to say it, Ann. The show must go on. And you people every week, even when we complain about it, you are putting on the greatest show you possibly can. The greatest show on earth.
Remember that time that Bryan Danielson fell between the ramp and the ring and got stuck? And like they were like zoomed in on him as he just decided to sell and started thrashing around. And we were all like, man, it can't have been planned because it was so crazy and it took forever. But he can't have been really hurt because they had the camera on him. So that's really confusing. It's like, he's like, no, I felt like a stupid baby and I just decided to sell it.
I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like there was a moment, because it was collision. So it's like we're not watching live or something. I feel like there's a moment online where it was like Bryan Danielson has really injured himself. And it was like, oh my God. And then more footage is coming out. And it's just like Bryan Danielson's leg is stuck in a hole. And he's okay. He actually seems okay. He seems
to be thrashing around pretty hamily. I'm not sure that...
There was a, like... who is stuck in a hole aspect to it.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like one of the funniest things.
Like Big Bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
and
thoughts and prayers with Ibushi and his family.
Oh, all our traditional best to you and your family, Kenny Omega.
And thank you, Chimouth Boy, again for cutting these things that we would never have seen otherwise.
We'd never have seen, but it was wonderful to see it, and I'm just so proud of this sport. I'm proud of this sport, and. And scared because men do get injured a lot, men and women both. Everyone's getting injured a lot, and that scares me. But I'm proud as well. And so let's figure out where we are in the schedule, and we'll say that Mark Davis, as we've said, re-debuted, and he attacked Ibushi, and then Kenny ran out very energetically, and I guess probably there was a bit of adrenaline because of what had happened. So he ran out for the save, and then he hit Mark Davis, in the ring, as they do, wrestling style. And...
wrestling style.
They kind of did it wrestling style. And then I believe the reportage was that Kenny Sweetly then was going out with Ibushi. Like, they've massacred my boy. And so then later, Kenny's backstage. And honestly, I loved that this was something that I've often said, like, we can't really have it, but what if we could? It was a Shakespearean soliloquy. Kenny is alone in a room ruminating. And he's being like, Don Callis, my God, you are running what I've called here your mansion of homosexual horrors. And I have bitten my tongue. And I have not intervened. And I probably should. And I probably should have called so many reporting agencies about what's going on there. But I've just been giving you your space and letting you do your thing because you wanted to have this mansion so badly. And
even though I heard you have a basement of disfigured boys.
And you only let them up between
the cellar.
Yeah. A cellar of disfigured boys whom you only allow up to the now in New England, what we would call a kitchen.
The cookery.
The cookery. Nice.
Just
heading to the cookery to grab a ham to bring to the cellar. Down the cellar.
Okay, the non-disfigured boys, there's a chore wheel, and one of the chores is feed cellar boys. So they go into the cookery, they fetch a ham from the pantry, the walk-in pantry, and then they carefully unlock the cellar door. And they just toss the ham. And then all the disfigured boys have to claw for it. Well, I don't know what their society is down there. They might share very nicely. I don't know. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't even remember who's down there. And I wonder if during all of this, I honestly don't even understand what the end result of the contract conversation has been, but do you think Andrade gets to stay down there while they figure it out?
Well, it's not going to be Don's like, don't worry, I've got a cellar. He's not disfigured, but
no one's going to see him down there. That's a very safe space for someone who might be in legal trouble.
I'm very interested in Greg being allowed up. Like, he was in the cellar, but they let him upstairs, and I'm like...
They let him go to dinner,
Yeah, what did he do to earn that? You never know.
Yeah, somebody was... What did he do to earn that? Oh, wow, now I'm distressed a little bit.
Okay, I didn't mean anything filthy by that.
Maybe it was because we were talking. Maybe it was because of our yapping mouths being like, the cellar. They're in the cellar. And Don heard it and was like, I can't have them talking about my cellar. Greg, come up here.
Shit, they know about the cellar.
He's like, Mark Davis, you're going on TV. Greg, get up here. Take your cast, even though you're horribly disfigured with that big cast.
God damn it, I cannot afford a lawsuit right now.
We've got to throw them off the set. Quick, Greg, distract him.
And then my broken-limbed boys, get on up here and get back in the game. And every time he looks at them, he shudders a little to himself, and then he thinks, be strong, Don, be strong. Okay, and what are we talking about?
And Mark
We've been on
Davis.
this paragraph for like
Oh my God, and it's Josh fucking Alexander again.
Oh, he gets us into a little whirlpool we can't emerge from.
Oh, wow.
Josh Alexander.
Every time we see Josh Alexander, suddenly I'm saying, now when are we in time?
That's his visage, it's so horrifying that it immediately blanks out everyone's mind.
we immediately start looking for an exit ramp. We're like,
where
should we
are
pull
we?
over here?
Josh!
We've gotta, something's making me shudder all over.
Josh, my God, can you get back to the cellar already?
Disfigured
I've
with
actually
your
never been in the
eyebrows.
cellar. I'm always really good and ready to wrestle. Unfortunately, I'm well aware. I see you so often, Josh. Okay. Anyway, let me just. When are we in time? Later. Oh, Kenny's doing his soliloquy, and he says, "I haven't intervened in the mansion of homosexual horrors." But then you go and do something like this. You murder my family. You attack my family, Mr. Kota Ibushi. It never ends. It's not gonna end until one of us and then there's a tapping at the door. Now, what I'll tell you is that when AEW.com recapped this, they said it's not going to end until, and that's where they cut it off. I'm kind of wondering if they were thinking of people like me who would read the full sentence where it got cut off and think, now, where were we headed with this?
Until one of us...
I don't know. Until one of us fucking... I don't know.
Frenches.
Until one of us French.
Until one of us Frenches his true love. That's not nothing.
It's not
I love
nothing.
It never ends. It's not going to end until one of us Frenches his true love. Is what Kenny was going to say, but he got
cruelly interrupted.
cut off by a tap at the door. And he made this face. He goes, just give it a minute.
It was so funny, like the look of like exhausted disgust on his face where he's like, it never ends. It never fucking ends.
You sit down to do your Shakespearean soliloquy that you've been working on all week.
And the girls are begging for it. And the girls are complaining about you all the time because of things like your hair and your body and because you're not around and because you only
don't
fight
try.
your friends. We actually like you only fight your friends. That's fine. They're always complaining, so I do a soliloquy just for them. Tip, 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 tap at the door. Give it a minute. Tap again. He says, okay, come on in. And it's little Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Jungle Jack. And Kenny does. I have to say, Kenny was locked in. Like, everything he did this week was like, yeah, I'm in love with you. Sometimes I forget, but I love you. I do think you're the greatest artist of your generation. He immediately goes to little tension headache for Kenny. One moment, Jack, Kenny's having a tension headache. They have a little conversation. What's the gist of the conversation, girls?
Okay. Jungle Boy did this very funny thing where he was like, I know you're I'm the last person you want to see, but I just wanted you to know that I have your back. And like, Kenny was like, you have my back?
What,
after
to put
you
a knife in it?
Yeah, after you tried to murder me. And Jungle Boy was so funny where he was like, well, I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm just saying, like, let's move on. Like, let's be in the present. And in the present, I'm not trying to murder you. So can't you just be there? And Kenny was like, no.
Kenny's like, you were dangling intestines to taunt me on live TV when my intestines were really hurt. And Jungle Boy was like, I mean, it was funny.
It was funny.
Kenny,
that was for the bit.
We all thought that was great. But his vibe was very much like, oh, that was like so long ago. You're so mad.
Which, to be fair, is kind of how wrestling usually works. It's so rare for somebody to remember stuff.
Yeah.
So he was just like, no one's ever actually like remembered something like that before, Kenny. And Kenny's like, well, I'm built different. Everyone's always saying it. I'm built different. It's me, Kenny Omega, and I can remember more than 5 minutes in the past. Yeah. And I live in my truth.
Incredible. Yeah. Honestly, like, during the match, Bryan Danielson started saying on commentary, like, of course Kenny doesn't trust Jungle Boy. Like, Jungle Boy attacked him and he had to be stretchered out and that kept him out of wrestling for a year. And I had kind of forgotten that had happened. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, wow, right. And then I was like, I don't think they should be fighting together at all. Like, Bryan Danielson, you've given me too much continuity. I didn't think I was supposed to remember that long ago.
It was one of your funnier and more alarming notes because I also hadn't thought of that and was just like, she's right. Sometimes don't tell the girls. Sometimes gaslight the girls. Just be like, they've never met. No, but it was. Like, I think it's ultimately.
I like it. Yeah, but
it is good that they're acknowledging the past. And I thought this was good interaction and. JB is like, look, I just think we have the same enemies now, so let's get on the same page. Kenny's like, I don't trust you. You may say you've got my back, but I don't got yours. That big dumb dinosaur, I don't give a fuck about him either.
Jungle Boy looked a little bit like, I mean, I don't think we have to get mean about Luchasaurus right now, but okay.
That's cruel. That's actually cruel. Kenny, you usually like animals. So.
Yeah, calling him dumb. I mean, come on.
Allie, I also like that you're giving Kenny
Tony Storm's voice. I know. I don't know why it happened.
I don't care about that dumb dinosaur.
I'll see you at Dynamite. I do think, honestly, that it would be good for Kenny's mental health to do that voice pretty regularly because it gives you a little burst of something.
Yeah. And it does feel like internally, like on the inside, he is kind of like a mid-Atlantic accented actress from the 40s a little bit.
Yeah.
He is kind of like, can't you just see Kenny in Bringing Up Baby like really easily? Like really, really easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, views on that. So then on Dynamite, we get this backstage promo where JB is whittling.
Sort of.
Anne pointed out in our notes, you may say it yourself, Anne.
Yeah, it looked like he was real bad at whittling.
He looked bad at whittling. And I will say that I had recently been having a craft conversation about my lampshades with listener Nico. And so crafting was on the brain. And Nico sent me a little message during this and said, JB's whittling form is not good. JB cannot whittle good. And I said, this is the kind of message I like to receive. And we went back and forth a little bit, and we said that there were a number of things going wrong, and he wasn't really holding the tools right, not in a safe way. And we said it's really important to be safe at work. And then we had a fun idea together. We were like, who would know like what workplace safety standards are, and that maybe could get into a fight with JB about this? And we were like, probably Eddie. I believe Nico pointed out today that in the vein of our conversation last week, also Orange Cassidy probably knows actually about being safe at work. So two potential feuds there that are basically just about Jack's ability to hold a knife safely.
I love the idea of Orange Cassidy being like coming in and doing his sloth thing and just being like, it would be such a drag if Osha came. So can you knock it off?
Can you just not? Can you just not? Okay, he's whittling. He's like, at Young Bucks. I just want to tell you, I don't hate you. I love you guys. Love you guys.
I was so obsessed with this because his vibe was like, listen, I'm not closing the door. Yeah. I know we've been kind of mean to each other, but hey, the door's still open.
But I dream every night that I'm your middleman again, and that's the only time I'm happy. But, you know.
Yeah. He's like, to be between you, bathed in your warm light, is the only place on earth where you can experience true comfort. And I'll never forget that. And of course, I wish always that I could be there again.
You two were the best I ever had. I want to make that clear.
Best I ever
had. The Young
had.
Bucks are like, of course, we're the best a lot of people have ever had around here.
Yes, everybody wants us back. We're well aware. I'll always be grateful for everything you did. When I needed you the most, you didn't pick up the phone. That
made me crazy because I was like, okay, so in Jack's world, the only sin the Young Bucks have committed is hitting fucking ignore when he calls. Excuse me? I'm sorry. We all have to be plugged in. We all have to be immediately
lot
available.
Of other sins. They have done a lot of other wrong.
To Jack?
I don't know, to everybody, Leah. They weren't good executives.
I don't think that was on TV.
You don't think that their sins were ever shown on TV? You don't think that they were ever shown being bad bosses on TV?
Well, I think being a boss is hard, you know?
She said they were trying their best. I don't know that they were, Leah.
Leah's like, Michael Scott did nothing wrong.
He did the best with what he had.
I'd hire him today. He said I had to look deep into my past to find somebody who would have my back, and that, of course, is Luchasaurus. So he and Luchasaurus and JB and Kenny team up to fight Mark Davis, Josh Alexander, and Hechicero. Jack jumps between Kenny and a big old lariat mid-match, hopefully building a bit of trust. There's devices are happening. Don't worry about that. Jack wins the match. The Bucks run out and attack. So they take him out. They take out Luchasaurus. Kenny rushes in for the save. Matt is going for an instinctive super kick. I think not seeing that it was Kenny. Is that right? And then at the last minute, Kenny does this little defensive gesture of like, God, no, mother, please. I am still your boy.
Mommy, it's me.
I'm still your boy.
And Matt does pull the kick immediately, just like, okay, well, I was trying to super kick you. And so they get in a bit of a back and forth tiff of just like, you're always doing this. It's like, I just love whenever the Elite come back together and it's like, they're just right back at it, arguing. Right back at it, mad about past wrongs. Some the only true continuity in wrestling.
It's like a couple that have been married too long and are having the same fights over and over, and you're like, why are you still arguing about this? And they're like, oh, because I enjoy it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
this is fun for me.
And Nick gets in there too, and you can tell there's a certain energy. They're just like, here we are. We should be beating each other up, but of course we're not doing that. We're just arguing with our words, just yelling at each other. Just like, stop getting involved in my business. And then Luchasaurus takes a Bucks out, and then they're fighting off Don Callis' family, and Jack Perry looks really, really good hunked out, and Kenny's hair looks really, really bad, and he's just, I actually said to our friend Jenna in the middle, I said, he's just got to shave it off.
Yeah.
And until he can be trusted with it.
Yeah. It's not salvageable.
It's not salvageable. And end of segment, I think. End of segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Further thoughts?
They got that money match for Wrestledream.
Nick, of course, lost all the money. He gambled all the money away. What happened on BT? What happened on BTE this week?
It was the funniest moment where, like, Matt was like, he was like trying to be mad, where he was like, you lost all our money, and Nick was like, sorry, Matt. And Matt immediately was like, forgiven. That's it.
It's like he was just waiting, because I think it was the last thing that happened in the episode. So it's like Nick was like, and one thing that I've realized is I have an addiction. And his vibe was kind of like, so it's not my fault. None of this is actually my fault. It's the fault of the addiction. And Matt's vibe was just like, you know what? Good enough for me. Good enough for me. You are forgiven. Thank God I can say it. And now we are back and better than ever.
That 2-week storyline where I was unhappy with you was really stressing me out.
I did not like that. I did not feel comfortable. We are fine again. And I guess I don't know when it got turned into a money match, but it is a $500,000 pot for the old.
So that could keep them afloat for 5 to 6 days, probably.
I don't know though. It's like heading into the holiday season could only be 3 days. You know,
it's true. I mean, they'd have to budget a little, like stretch it out to 6.
And that's the one thing they'll never do. All right. Anything else you want to say about any of this? I mean, we seem to have run out of time. I don't know how. It's like there's no time really. So
I'll just say quickly that we were having a very funny conversation on our channel where we were like, the three of us were like, obviously we loved the Darby and Mox segment, and a couple people came in to be like, it was bad. And like, we had a very funny thing, and then this happened, and I think it was Nejma was like, at least we'll always have shirtless Bucks.
It was a nice conciliatory gesture. Yeah.
just like, I know you're not happy right now, girls, but there's still things that we all can share. Yes, that's so true.
That's true. When we look at these Bucks without shirts on, we can feel happiness.
Did you guys see on Twitter that some just normal either AWTV or a normal fan, can't remember, posted a picture of Matt on the ramp with his abs like mega out, like a little too out, I would say, like just abbed to the moon and back. And then the Young Bucks account quote tweeted it just with a little flushed face. Like, okay.
A little flushed face of your own body. That's incredible work. That's great tweeting.
That is so undistinguished. But you know what? It was. The truth is that if I had a carousel of Young Bucks bodies, I'd pick everybody. I'd pick every single body.
I love everybody.
That one's coming with me. That one's coming with me.
You know what?
That one. Well, I'll just snag that one in the back.
Well, it's the little treat season, isn't it? And I've got, $500K to work with? So I'll take them all. Say, come along. I'll take you all to Starbucks. I'll buy you anything that you want. Okay, so if we had more time, we would say some deeper stuff about these relationships, but we don't have time, so we're going to move on. We did get Don Callis has been tweeting like a lunatic. I don't know if we can put a narrative together, so I would just suggest checking it out. And I did say, Anne was like, I didn't see all of these. These are insane. I said, yeah, when I read through them all at once, the only thought that popped into my head was, is he drunk at a Chili's? The only thing I could think 100%. That explains what's going on.
Yeah, it's really the only place you could treat this from.
The Callis family boys hosted a special birthday dinner for Don Callis at a restaurant, back room at a restaurant. This is the kind of thing that I live for. I love to see. Okay, haven't gotten enough of it. Let's keep it up. And Hideous Greg was even there, as we've said earlier.
And he did have the energy of like, I've been let upstairs and I'm not getting sent back down. So like his energy was like very intense where he was like, happy birthday, Don. I love family, Don.
I think this is true for, well, it was true for me. I feel like I had watched, this was posted on Twitter or something before it aired on Dynamite this week. And so I had seen most of it, but I just like hadn't seen the end because I got distracted. I was probably at work or something. And so when I saw on Dynamite, the last thing that happens is just Greg being like, love you guys. I lost it. I just like burst into laughter and was just like, Greg, you used to be a member of a family where that was the kind of the vibe. You're not anymore. Couldn't be less the energy.
Did you guys see his Instagram stories today?
No.
It was so funny. The first one is like a coffee cup and it says Cup of Joe. And then the second one says Psych, it's egg, and the top's off and there's just hard-boiled eggs in it.
Greg, you are so sick and you're so important to me.
I know.
You're grotesque. All right, so they do this little skit. They're showing I don't know what I'm saying. It's a birthday for Don, and Don is like, I love my boys, and I love how many of them I have, and I'm always birthing more. And they said,
and then
thank
none
God.
of them are in a cellar. Don't worry about that. They're all allowed.
And I let them all out, and they're pasture raised, free range boys. Okay, so they go anywhere they want. They do anything they want. If they want ham, they go to the fridge and they get it. They cookery themselves.
And if OSHA asks, that's what you'll tell them.
Their ham is never thrown down the stairs to them.
And now, to me, Eddie Kingston is OSHA. So if Eddie Kingston comes sniffing around asking about my workplace safety practices, you tell him it's any ham they want, anytime they want it. That's what I've always said. And Takeshita was calling in to be like, I love you, Don. I'm trying to get a belt.
When it was on TV, I saw that when it started playing, it said like the name of the file .mov, which was so funny.
It was not a true Zoom, but he was calling in to say, I love you, Daddy, and I'm trying to win another belt for you over in Japan, and I'll do anything for, and then he just got cut off midway, and everyone turned to look at Okada, and Okada says, I pushed the wrong button. Which was funny.
Delightful. It was very funny. It was perfect.
So more mansion skits, you know? I mean, I know they weren't at a mansion, they were at a restaurant, but let's go to the mansion, maybe.
Yeah, let's see those bunk beds. Love to see them.
Let's watch the boys roam in their natural habitat.
I want to see them roaming free on Don's mansion property, just roaming.
Don, I want to see what every door opens to.
Yeah. Okay. And if you need to start building a mansion right now to have a lot of interesting doors,
get to work.
It's time.
Better work.
You should have started months ago, but
you know. But the next best time to start is always now. Okay.
Yeah. So true. Yeah.
All right, and then I don't even know if we. This was quite funny actually, but yeah, the acclaimed storyline continues, and. Anthony Bowens and Max Caster did fight a match together, and they improbably won yet again. And neither of them was happy about it at all, which is great.
And it was so funny, too, because, like, Anthony Bowens at one point, you know, like, they were doing the Let's Go Max chant, and he, like, kind of bumped Max to the side and tried to be like, no, the pride of pro wrestling. He got booed pretty hard. It's really funny that Max Caster's the baby face. Like, I don't know.
It's crazy, but it's just crazy enough to work. I will say Anthony Bowens has been amping up some comedy bits that are, like, really, really working for me. Like, he keeps carrying the magazine covers around in their frames, and then before the match, he laid them all one next to the other on the ramp, and, like, was just, like, gesturing at the camera, like, look at these. Yes, it's me, Anthony.
And I think he, like, added one more this week, too.
Another one.
Killer.
Also, I think before the match, they had a promo that I was like, what do you mean? Where, like, he was like, don't you see all my magazine covers? I was the face of, I forget what he said. It was actually like, I was like, were you really? It was like something like face of Skims. What was it? It was
Fenty.
Fenty, right.
Yeah.
He was like, I was the face of Fenty. What were you the face of, Max? And Max goes, I don't want to talk about it.
It's so funny. It's like literally the funniest thing you can say to that.
Honestly, they're both knocking it out of the park. And then there's two major things that I just want to quickly discuss. One is they have this backstage after they've won. They have this backstage interview with Alicia Tout, who is like, they're like, we're not the Acclaimed, and she's like, well, I don't think you have much say in the decision. And then they both were just, which kind of the vibe was like, Alicia, are you in charge? What do you mean?
It's just so funny if Tony Khan like sends Alicia out to like really lay the hammer down. It's like, I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah, she's the enforcer.
He's like, I'm putting you in charge of that. She was being like, Tony will say whether you fight together again or not. And so then they both start begging Tony, being like, don't make me fight. Don't ever make me fight with him again. Max Caster says, don't put me in a match with him again. I don't like him, and I have autonomy over my body.
So funny.
So funny. And it did, though, raise a lot of questions for me because I was like, I guess that, like, ultimately Tony Khan tells everybody to do everything. But people form partnerships a lot without consulting him, as far as I can tell. And I don't think we've ever seen him be like, you two, you don't want to be a tag team, but you will be. In kayfabe, you've never had the vibe be like, you'll fight together or you'll be sorry. And then every time they come out, they're like, yeah, he just put us in a fucking get-along shirt, Tony Khan. So, what are you going to do? He's the boss.
It's so funny because, like, for Shoot, I do feel like the Acclaimed is maybe Tony's biggest success. Like, he put them together, and it's like, and they can't part now.
No, and it is kind of like, how did you know? How did you know?
It's wild.
Well, I guess they're second only. I would say Sting and Darby is kind of like.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
but this is a homegrown success. That's totally different because Sting is famous on his own right. But that's I'm just like, let's never forget about. And I do feel like he gave Darby a papa, and Darby didn't appreciate it really.
Well, it's his best friend, not his
best friend. Yeah,
yeah. And I do feel like Sting kind of chose Darby too. Like he saw us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This one is all Big Tone, and now he says you'll stay together for the kids. Me. You'll stay together for your father. Anyway, the only other thing I wanted to say was I thought it was homophobic of Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness on commentary, who are lovers themselves. So you'd think that it's self-loathing. It comes from
gay on gay violence.
Gay on gay violence, which in some ways I approve of. But they just are out there saying like, Max and Anthony are out here. They're really living out a buddy cop comedy. I said, excuse me. They are in a comedy of remarriage. It's sexual and romantic. It's has nothing to do with cops. That's problematic.
They kept naming buddy cop parents too.
And how dare you?
Yeah, the only thing that popped me about that is that they just kept naming buddy cop pairings and like they were enjoying it so much that I think they forgot they were on air. And there was a point where Nigel said one and Tony just went, "Oh, good call."
And also, I think Nigel said, like, Turner and Hooch, and Shivani was like, isn't Hooch a dog? And Nigel was like, you ruined jokes.
Aw. Okay, well, if they were just, like, kind of having, like, a fun evening in their living room at the end of it, then I absolve them of their gay-on-gay crimes, and you keep on doing it, boys.
And Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, I've never really found sexual or romantic, like, until now, No. But...
And I do not think that Anthony Bowens would be happy to hear that we're saying it's sexual and romantic. He's like, that's the one thing it never will be. And that's not what's happening. Gay for anybody else. Gay for anybody else.
Literally anyone.
He's like, can't you put me in a marriage with anybody? Like, come on, think of somebody. Let's do that. And we're like, no, enjoy
No heart. No heart. I don't know. He chose you, Or you chose him. I don't know which of you. Tony Khan chose both of you. Yeah. It would make him really happy if you kissed. If you guys kissed.
In a way, Tony Khan is the psychologist who's chosen their perfect matches on Are You the One?
That, you know what? That is exactly right. And it's like everybody is being like, go to the truth booth now. I know you are a couple. You will be. It will prove that you are a couple, and then you will go somewhere else, and we won't have to see you anymore. And they're like, "We'll never go to the truth booth."
Anthony Bowens is on his knees, being like, "I will go to the truth booth with anybody else. Please, I can't hear it right now. I'm not in a place where I can hear that.
Like, I can't hear it, and I can't be sent to the villa where the happy couples are supposed to live for the rest of the show."
They're dysregulating the house so much that the psychologist has come down into the living room, and it's just like, and it is true. I'm so sorry, Anthony. It is true that you and Max are a perfect match, and we just can't send you away until you go into the truth booth, so you have to go into the truth booth now. And Anthony Bowens is like, that is exactly what I'm banking on. that I cannot be sent away. If I do not go into that shack, I can stay here forever.
They're trying to shove them in there, and Max Caster's yelling, I have autonomy over my body.
No notes. Wow, one of the top storylines on wrestling today. Was there anything you wanted to talk about that you did not get a chance to talk about? No, nothing. Well, then, on that note, I've been Allie.
I've been Ann.
And I've been Leah.
It's Tunnel Talk. Our theme is by Chris Corkin. You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch, Tunnel Talk Pod, via email, tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. We have a souvenir stand. You can find it at chop-cheese.com. You can find us on our feed, on the Social Suplex Network feed, where you can check out all the other great podcasts on the network. You can find us on our friend Mike McGinnis's podcast, Library Pizza. You can check out our episode and the other great episodes, and it really is a dream, and he's a dream, so go check it out. You can also find us on the Social Suplex Network Discord. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Stay frosty, and my God, you simply must come back next week.
I think it was a good one.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.